Another edition of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And in this episode, we'll be looking at the latest instalment of the row over trans athletes in sport. This particular one is a comment made by former Olympic swimmer Sharron Davies, who likens trans athletes competing as women to drug cheats, with news that cycling is now the latest sport to attract this fashion, if you like, for male athletes who are not very good to become female in order to win races. Now we'll take a look at this piece. It's in the today's Mail, and there's an irony. The Mail. Anyway, it's in today's paper, and we will take a look at this, and I will put myself in the corner, and we will discuss. Sharron Davies likens trans athletes to drug cheats, as I mentioned, in row over transgender woman racing Dame Laura Kenny in the national championships this weekend, after getting green light to compete by the governing body that still lists her as male. Can't have it both ways. Former Olympic swimmer made the comments during the interview with GB News. It comes as trans athlete Emily Bridges prepares to compete in a female event. Why a man wants to race females, do not know. Cyclist will compete in National Omnium Championships in Derby on Saturday. He competed in male races last month, but will now face Dame Laura Kenny. The 21-year-old cyclist has lowered testosterone to required level over the last year. Yes, maybe this is the case, but we'll still have the benefits of male puberty. So the muscle depth, the muscle density, the muscle strength, bone density, higher oxygen intake, larger lungs, faster twitch response, etc. There's so much more than just testosterone at stake here. But they're allowing this to happen. It's unjust. It's unjust to female athletes. Why should they even bother turning up when they're racing a man? Anyway, we'll go into the piece. Former Olympic swimmer Sharron Davies has compared the advantages of being a trans woman in female sport to the advantages gained by drug cheats. Quite right too. The British silver medalist contrasted how sports governing bodies were spending millions trying to spot athletes who were doping, while simultaneously allowing biological males to compete in female competitions. Exactly. The double standards here are sickening. Oh, yes. If you're a woman, we're not allowing you to in any way enhance your body to gain that extra advantage. But if you're a man, hey, that's fine. Who makes these decisions? Her comments come as trans athlete Emily Bridges prepares to compete against five-time Olympic champion Dame Laura Kenny in the National Omnium Championship in Derby on Saturday. There has been a backlash against the inclusion of Mr. Bridges, who was on the Great Britain Academy programme as a male rider and raced in males main events as recently as last month. So was riding as a man last month, proved to not be very good as a man, and so become a woman. This is wrong. This is bloody wrong. And somebody needs to stand up for this. Now, thankfully, J.K. Rowling stand up for it. Now, Sharron Davies is standing up for it. I mean, I'm standing up for it, but I'm nobody, but we all need to stand up for this. Every woman who competes against a man should just not compete. Should just stop and say, right, no, he's going to win. Let's just go home and let him have the title. Ms. Bridges, who began hormone therapy last year and is now eligible to compete as a woman under British cycling's policy, is also still currently listed as a male on his British cycling profile, because you can't be called male and be a her, can you now? While he technically faces a final hurdle of approval to compete from the world cycling body, the Union Cycliste Internationale, he is expected to be given the green light because the two groups use the same testosterone tolerance levels. Among those spearheading the criticism of his inclusion in Saturday's event has been former Olympian Ms. Davies, who won silver in the 400-metre medley at the 1980 Olympics in Moscow. Miss Davies, who has called for the protection of female-only sports and creation of an open category to include trans athletes, says she absolutely supports anybody who chooses to identify as the opposite sex. But she says she believes Miss Bridges and other former male athletes competing against women hold an unfair advantage. And she is absolutely right. And I actually like the open event. I think that's a brilliant idea. That way it's non-exclusionary. And may the best man win. Miss Davies told GB News, "We can have inclusion and fairness. We just have to put fairness first." If you look across Olympic sports, and that includes cycling, you are looking at a 10 to 20, even 30% in weightlifting difference, which is absolutely vast, and anyone who's gone through male puberty will not be able to mitigate against all those advantages, as I mentioned earlier. At the moment, we spend millions trying to spot people who have the tiniest advantage by taking drugs, so that they're cheating. But yet women are supposed to move over out of their lane so that males are able to come into their sports and just give up their trophies, their wins and their places and their scholarships. It just seems so incredibly unfair. And she's absolutely right. Women are being cancelled yet again. They're having opportunities denied them because this man here is rubbish when it comes to cycling against other men, and so decides, I'll call myself Emily, and I'll become a woman, and then I can beat other women. And it's just wrong, and I don't care how nice you dress up and how often you call yourself a woman. Sorry, you're a man. You've got all the advantages of a man's body, and you're a man in terms of sport. Deal with that, and stay in your own lane in this case. The decision to allow Miss Bridges to ride in women's events has been heavily criticised. Yes, it has. Despite racing in male events as recently as last month, the former national junior champion cyclist has been cleared to race by the government body in Saturday's female Omnium. This is because he has been undergoing hormone treatment for a year and has now lowered his testosterone to required levels set by British Cycling. I bet he's still got his penis. Meanwhile, British Cycling continues to list Miss Bridges as male under the gender section of the profile. So where is the utter hypocrisy here? Labelled as male, but allowed to run in women's races. It doesn't even make sense. They cannot even make sense of their own guidelines, these stupid people. And what's worse, these dangerous people, because they are pushing a gender above fairness. They're pushing an agenda, and by doing so, they're showing their misogynism because they're cancelling women and they're cancelling women's opportunities. Hey, women, don't bother. Just don't bother. All women's sport will be played by men from now on because you're rubbish at it compared to all these men that are about to take over your sport. Where do you go with this? Where do you go? I mean, it goes on and on. It's saying here that he may also be selected for Team GB at the Olympics in Paris in 2024. So he could put a biological woman, out of the Olympics team because he, with his little lady penis, wants to be competitive. And that's wrong. Where's the fairness? Where's the equal opportunities? Why is nobody standing up? Okay, thank you, God. Thank you for Sharron. Sharron is standing up. We need every woman in this sport and every woman in every sport to stand up and say enough is enough, draw the line and say the moment a man stands on whatever field of sport it is, the rest of them pick up their changing bags, turn around and walk away. Just walk away. Don't even bother competing. Don't even attempt to compete. Just walk away. And then when that man is standing on his own, or there's two men standing on their own looking at each other, eyeing up each other's cocks, and all the organisers are going, but wait, where's all the women going? Why are the women leaving? And you just point and say, well, there's two men. Can't beat them. Let them have it. And there you go. I can't see how this isn't sexual intimidation, sexual discrimination. Anyway, I like this post. At some point, competing athletes and those retired still silent need to speak and act, said Sharron Davies. They can be respectful, saying science before rule changes, all included where biology fits, and if in time it can be proved, which it won't, that total male puberty advantage can be removed, then fine. But it'll never be removed because that advantage is inset in that body. So, in 2018, Mr. Bridges, who's now Miss Bridges, set a national junior men's record over 25 miles. His time of 47 minutes 27 seconds was more than 2 minutes faster than the female record. That is the difference. That is the difference. Call yourself male, be rubbish as a male, then decide you're going to be female, still be registered as a male, still go through male puberty and have all the advantages of being a male, still be pre-op, and then race against women. It's wrong, it's unjust, it's unfair, it's immoral, and if he had any decency, he would just give up the sport and say, yeah, it is unfair. I want to be a girl, but I don't want to cause offence. So he's got to choose. What does he want to be most of all? A little girl or a little cyclist? Because let's face it, he can't really be either, can he? He's not a very good cyclist if he's got to become a girl in order to be competitive. And he's never going to be a woman. He's always going to be a man, whatever he does. Because he's got the male body, he's got the male DNA, he's had male puberty, male musculature, all the advantages of a male body. He'll never be a woman. He needs to consider himself look in a mirror. But the main problem here is actually the authorities allowing it, because the authorities have no spine. It may need to go and become a law. But I think Sharron's idea, I'll be honest here, and I do think Sharron's idea of having an open category is an excellent idea. Have an open category, and it doesn't matter, what you want to call yourself or what you want to be. You go in the open category, and you'll have a male-only category and a female-only category and a open category. And the trans can all go in the open category. There won't be any women in there, of course, but at least it gives them somewhere to compete on a level playing field. But everyone knows that it's a participation medal. Yes, I won the cycling in the open category against 5 other men. And what you're saying is, yeah, it's a little medal I got because I'm not good enough to be beating the men, the actual real men, the proper men, is the competitive men that I couldn't beat before. Still can't beat them. And it would be wrong to beat the women because I've obviously got all these advantages. So they give me a special race where I get a special prize. Yeah, everyone's a winner. Everyone gets a little special prize. They do that at schools where, the educationally subnormal go. And that's fine. It makes them feel good. And I'm happy for that. When you have people, backward children or learning difficulties and that, let's keep them happy. And everybody gets a prize. And that's what you're doing to these trans athletes. Anyway, I'm going to come up and round off. So yes, the cancellation of women continues. This time it's British cycling. And thank heavens that Sharron is standing up for them. Because nobody else is going to. Their own governing body is cancelling women. And the only people who can stop the cancellation of women are women. Because the politicians aren't interested in getting involved. You have no Labour MP so far. I mean, I've done several videos on this week with all these Labour MPs. And we're not just talking about, small MPs here. We're talking about the leader and the deputy leader wading into a row, unable to define what a woman is, unable to say whether a woman can have a penis, saying it's okay and acceptable to ask a man if he's pregnant and all this. So don't ask the politicians to help you. Your governing bodies of these sports are the ones actually foisting men upon you. So who's left? Who can sort this out? Who can make a stance? Women can make a stance. You link your arms and you say, no more men in our sport. Whatever your sport is. And it's only fair. It's only fair. Because otherwise you may as well just not have a sport. Your Olympic dreams or your World Championship dreams would be dashed. your personal best will mean nothing. Oh, I've done a personal best. Yeah, but that athlete next to you did a personal best that's like 8 minutes quicker. You need to stand up, women. You need to stand up, and you'll find that there's a lot of men standing with you. And I don't mean next to you on the racetrack here, standing behind you, you know, because I think 99.9% of the people, regardless of their sex in this country, are absolutely aghast that we're allowing men to compete on a level playing field with women, because it is unfair and wrong. And I shall leave it there. If you like what you're seeing here on this channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notifications. Leave a like. Leave a comment. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and goodbye.